Welcome back, optimistic ladies and gentlemen, to another Fun Friday episode in this Pokémon TCG Online series. Fun Friday is all about silly and fun deck ideas, and today I present to you a Flareon-EX deck. It was about time that Our next opponent is Razorback 2-3 with a colorless Lightning and a Psychic deck, very likely Night March. And this is the second time we are up against Night March with our Flareon, Camerupt and Entei deck. Last time we lost because my opponent knocked out my Shaymins instead of dealing with my attackers. So we'll have to be careful here. We will promote our Flareon-EX and bench our Numel. Then we will probably play down our stadium. My opponent starts off with the Shaymin, that is good. We get a Max Elixir. Let's try our luck with the Max Elixir first of all. Ooh, we do hit the Max Elixir. Now we are going to flash fire the energy from the Numel to our Flareon. We will attach an energy to our Flareon as well. We'll also attach a Fighting Fury Belt. And then we'll Sycamore, we'll Battle Compress. We'll Battle Compress 2 energies. And actually the Lysandre. Because last game against Night March, my Lysandre was prized. And that basically cost me the game to some extent, because I did not have the possibility to Lysandre my opponent's Shaymin, which I need to do here if this is Night March. I need to do that to make the price trade fair for us. So we are going to discard the Lysandre and 2 energy, and then we are going to play down our Scorched Earth, discard our energy that we have here in our hands, and hopefully find a draw supporter. We get 2 more energies. Never mind, that is a pretty bad start for us, not gonna lie. This is a really bad start. At the very least we will be able to knock out the Shaymin in the next turn, but we don't have any draw supporters, and that is a big problem. No draw supporters whatsoever. 3 energies in the discard pile, a Battle Compressor, a Lysandre and a Max Elixir. Transmail from my opponent as the first card that he plays. Do we see a Battle Compressor, a Dimension Valley? Alright, this is a very good sign. This is Night March indeed, and we do get end, so we get relieved from our very bad hands. Our hand gets shuffled back into our deck, and we get a fresh hand to start over with. We even get the Camerupt here, Camerupt and Sycamore to draw through our deck. We have the Hex Maniac as well. We could Hex Maniac if my opponent doesn't set up very well, but it looks like he will. We see the first Battle Compressor and the second Battle Compressor right after each other. So we will see 6 Night Marchers hit the discard pile, I think. Yes, look at that. 2 Joltik, 1 Pumpkaboo and 3 Lampent. So 1 Lampent seems to be prized. An Ultra Ball is going to discard the Pumpkaboo and a Puzzle. Fantastic. Discarded a Puzzle. Look at that. That is what we are looking for, to see my opponent discard valuable resources like puzzles, like DCE even, and like VS Seekers and a Lysandre. Right now we don't have any Shaymins on our bench, so that's in our favor. That's definitely good for us, but we might have to bench a Shaymin at some point here. We will counter the stadium, we will counter the Dimension Valley with our Scorched Earth, and we are going to evolve into our Camerupt, then Sycamore, I think, unless we top deck an Ultra Ball. Now Ultra Ball away the AZ and the Hex Maniac and get out another Numel. The Camerupt itself can be a pretty good attacker against Night March, and we get a free shot here. We get a free shot at knocking out a Shaymin. I cannot believe that. So let's counter the stadium. There's our Blacksmith. I could Blacksmith, but I don't think I will. What I will do is I will Burning Draft onto my Camerupt and then Flash Fire the energy onto my Flareon. And that is what I'm going to do. So right now we have the knockout on my opponent's Shaymin, and then we are going to Sycamore. We need to find our Entei and some more Numels. Flareon, that's good. We have the Ultra Ball. I'm going to discard 1 Flareon here, and maybe 1 Camerupt. We have the Super Rod right there, so we'll discard the Camerupt as well. Do we have another Camerupt in our deck? We do not. We'll grab a Numel, bench the Numel, make sure we can get out another Camerupt in the next turn. And then we are going to attach this fire energy to our Camerupt. And we are simply going to hit for the KO with the Blaze Ball for 120. Take 2 prizes against Night March. Can we find a VS Seeker for a Lysandre on another Shaymin? And that is what I'm looking for at the moment. VS Seeker another Shaymin, or Lysandre another Shaymin. And then I think we have a very good chance at taking this game. Certainly if our Flareon stays alive here, because if it does, we will knock out this Mew And then we have taken 3 prizes with our Flareon, while my opponent will only get 2 prizes in return, which is fantastic. There's another Shaymin from my opponent, going to draw into 4 more cards. 4 more cards from that Shaymin. 2 puzzles in the discard pile. My opponent can only use 2 more puzzles. Fantastic. We still haven't seen any VS Seekers though. And no DCE either. There is the Fighting Fury Belt. My opponent is sitting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 140. 150 damage DCE, so 150 right now. If my opponent finds a Joltik VS Seeker for an N, alright, we do get Ns. And that's okay. That is okay by me. We should be able to find our Super Rod at some point here in the game. And a Flareon, an Ultra Ball, and an N ourselves. I do think I will get out a Shaymin right now. I believe I will here. I'm going to discard my N and the Flareon, and I will grab a Shaymin. Yes. And we are going to Max Elixir onto the Numel. Make sure our Camerupts are ready to attack at some point. My opponent still hasn't found Joltik. Oh, but he does have the dimension value right now. Did counter our stadium, so we will get hit for 160. Wait, 160, 170 damage. That's enough for a knockout if we didn't have this Fighting Fury Belt attached. My opponent cannot use a 0-6, could use a starting Megaphone. What? Sky returns the Mew. Alright. I'm not sure why. Plus 170 damage, that is 210, that's enough for a knockout. I guess that's why my opponent did it, because he wasn't going to one-hit KO us anyways. Preserves the DCE that way, that is very smart, I guess. That is pretty smart. We will Max Elixir, we do get an energy. Then we are going to discard the Shaymin and the Flareon, maybe just the N instead. No, I'm going to discard the Flareon and the Shaymin. Actually, the Shaymin and the N. And we are going to grab ourselves a Shaymin. The last Shaymin in our deck. Can we find our Camerupt? Or a Super Rod for the Camerupt, because we don't have any more Camerupts. I'm looking for my Super Rod here. A Super Rod or a VS Seeker. And we do find a VS Seeker. Look at that. We will VS Seeker again. For the Lysandre, knockout that Shaymin from my opponent, bring ourselves down to 2 prizes. We'll also Burning Draft, make sure we can attack with our Camerupt. And then we are going to Battle Compress once again. What can we find from the Battle Compressor? Our Entei seems to be prized. I'm gonna keep the N in my deck. We don't really need any more Ultra Balls. We'll discard those and we'll discard the Numel as well. No need for any more Numels either. Then we will bench one more Flareon-EX, I think, because we don't have the Entei. And if my opponent puts that Fighting Fury Belt on a Pumpkaboo, we need to attack with our Flareon. And we will hit for the KO here with our Blaze Ball for 120 damage. Bringing ourselves down to 2 prizes. We get the Entei, fantastic, and the Camerupt. Look at that, there is our last Camerupt. Now we can start using our Burning Draft even more. I might be forced to attack with the Camerupt in the next turn, because we don't have a Blacksmith to power up our Flareon-EX here. And DC on the Mew, and we will see a knockout for sure now. A Night March for the KO, taking 2 prizes. VS Seeker for an N is going to N us again. N is down to 2 cards. That is pretty bad for us. That's pretty bad. At least we have those two Sycamores. We get a Blacksmith. Oh, we get a Blacksmith. We can knockouts whatever my opponent promotes in the next turn. With an Entei. We have the Entei as well. I might just promote my Camerupt and go for the knockout with my Entei. Because we can retreat the Camerupt if we Burning Draft once again. Night March for the KO. Okay, we are going to promote the Camerupt. But the question is, do we attack with our Flareon or do we attack with our Entei? Another Flareon. We are still left without a top deck though. My opponent can one-hit KO our Flareon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, with the Fighting Fury Belt, that is a one-hit KO. How many Fighting Fury Belts has my opponent used? Only one. So I'm going to use my Entei here. Would have loved to find another Camerupt though. We will Burning Draft onto the Camerupt. And then we are going to retreat our Camerupt onto the bench. Yes, we will do that. Okay. Then we will move one energy from our Numel to our Flareon-EX. And we are going to Blacksmith our Entei. Go for the knockout here on the Mew. Hopefully we can get something good from the prizes. Something which helps us out here. 100 damage on that Mew. We need to take one more prize. That's all we need to do. And we get a Shaymin. We get a Shaymin. That is fantastic. We can bench our Shaymin in the next turn. And that should allow us to power up our Flareon-EX to hit for the KO against my opponent's Night Marcher. A Trainer's Mail. Can my opponent find another DCE? Can he find another DCE? He probably can because he's got a huge hand size. Fighting Fury Belt, that's okay. Well, actually not. We need a Fighting Fury Belt for our Entei. If my opponent Lysandre our Shaymin, we need a Fighting Fury Belt for our Entei here to knock out this Mew, because we are only hitting for 80 at the moment, which is not a knockout. Hopefully we don't see an N here. Teammates for a DCE, and or maybe just the puzzles for the DCE. That could be it as well, unless one puzzle is prized. Then my opponent will have to grab the DCE and something else here. What is it going to be? Can we take this win? I really want to take the win against Night March. A DCE, grab the DCE, and something that we will not see until the next turn maybe. We are going to promote our Flareon-EX. It is now or never. All we need is one energy to power up our Flareon. That's all we need. Because we can Burning Draft and move an energy with the Flash Fire. So all we need is just one energy. We get a Blacksmith. That is it. We top deck the Blacksmith. That is GG. We take the win against Night March. We lost against Night March in the first part. And we take the win in the second part. Look at that. We don't get a knockout there. So it doesn't count for our challenge that last possible knockout. We don't get it from my opponent because my opponent concedes. But that's okay because we won against Night March. And that is what life is all about right now. Winning against Night March. Night March is going to get rotated out, but right now it's still here, so winning against it right now is so satisfying. It is so satisfying. 340 damage dealt versus 400 from our opponent. Flareon-EX MVP versus a Mew. Alright, let's see if we can find ourselves one more opponent. Our last opponent of the day is going to be Astra_3N with a fighting deck. If I were to guess, I would say Garchomp, maybe Lucario because we see the Lucario coin, but I think it's going to be Garchomp. And that means we need to, or we want to attack with our Entei and our Camerupt actually. So let's see what we are up against. Is it indeed Garchomp? No, it's Medicham. Okay, it's Medicham. That's a different story then. That's a different story. So we will Sycamore our hand away. Make sure we have the Blacksmith and 2 energies in the discard pile. We can use our Scorched Earth here, and I will do that. I want to find a basic. Yes, we do find a basic there. That is fantastic. We even get a Max Elixir to use, and yes, we hit the Max Elixir. Let's move that energy with the Flash Fire onto our Flareon-EX. And then we will pass the turn. If my opponent Lysandre our Numel, we will use our Escape Rope. Make sure we can attack with the Flareon-EX. I don't want to see Focus Sash. That's something I am very scared of here. The Focus Sash from my opponents. I don't have any way of discarding that Focus Sash. We see a Battle Compressor. I think my opponent might be playing Carbink Break. Carbink. Yes, there it is. So we could see a switch into the Carbink. And that means we need to use our Entei to deal with the Carbink as well as our Camerupt here. And another Meditides. As long as we don't see a Focus Sash, I will be happy. I don't mind the Carbink Break all that much. Just don't want to see a Focus Sash. So we can take the knockout on this Meditide in our first turn. Discards a Fire Energy or a Fighting Energy using our own Stadium. Stop that, you. That's our Stadium. Don't use it. Yeah, okay, so an energy on the Carbink is going to let the Meditide get knocked out, it seems. We didn't see any Focus Sash as of yet. And then the Carbink Break can start accelerating onto the Meditide on the bench. Yes, we are going to get a KO. That is fantastic. That's all I wanted to see here. So let's attach an energy. Let's even evolve into our Camerupt and start using the Burning Draft. No need to move the energies to our Flareon at the moment. We could even Blacksmith, but I think I won't do that. What I will do is discard some more supporters. Some helpful supporters like the Lysandre, the AZ, and the Hex Maniac. We need the Hex Maniac in our discard pile to get it back with our VS Seekers. And then we are going to Sycamore, try to find a VS Seeker for the Hex Maniac for the next turn. Make sure we can deal with the Carbink. Yes, we do get the VS Seeker. We get another Flareon. That is good. Let's try to Max Elixir onto our Flareon. This Max Elixir fails. That's okay. Do we need some more energies in our discard pile? Would have loved to find a Numel though. Or to find a Numel. Yes, to find a Numel. Can we find a Numel from this Shaymin? No, we do not. Oh my goodness, that's a bummer. Well, let's Blaze Ball for the KO. At least we have the KO here. 110 damage. We get the Entei. We get the Entei. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. I can actually Blacksmith onto the Entei in the next turn, so I don't have to use my Hex Maniac per se. There's a Carbink Break. We'll see a Diamond Gift to accelerate that fighting energy from the discard pile onto the Meditite. Maybe my opponent could discard a Strong Energy and accelerate that Strong Energy as well. And yes, we will see the Strong Energy get discarded with this Battle Compressor. Maybe even 2 Strong Energies. Maybe even 2 Strong Energies. And then my opponent can actually very easily one-hit KO our Flareon-EX, which is a bummer for us. That is definitely not good for us, because we can only one-hit KO this Medicham with our Flareon or with our Entei, not with our Camerupt. VS Seeker for Corina. We'll see the Medicham. And we'll see a Focus Sash maybe on the Carbink Break. Very likely. Or maybe just on the Medicham. Which that means I could Lysandre actually the Medicham. And hit the Medicham. I might just do that, because it is the biggest threat on the board. We don't mind the Carbink as much. And just grabs the Level Ball. Alright, no Focus Sash it seems. Unless my opponent has a Focus Sash in hand. If you don't see a Focus Sash, I will Lysandre the Meditite or the Medicham. Yes, I will do that. I will definitely do that. And there's a Meditite. We'll get hit for 20 damage from the Diamond Gift. And we'll see 2 Strong Energies get attached to the Medicham. Professor Letter for 2 more Fighting Energies. And then we'll see the attack, I think. Oh, actually discards the energy as well. My goodness. We are going to do the same. We are going to look for another VS Seeker, so we can find our Hex Maniac in the next turn, because that might be necessary. 20 damage, and we'll see the energy acceleration onto the Medicham. Maybe not. I think we will here. Yes, there we go. Alright, 2 Strong Energies on the Medicham. Oh, we get Shaymin. Well, let's see here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? First of all, let's go for the Lysandre. Let's go for that Lysandre. Hopefully my opponent does not concede here. I don't think he will, because he's got the other Meditite. Then let's Burning Draft. Let's not forget to do that. Let's Burning Draft. And he concedes the match. He concedes the match. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why would he do that? He still had another Meditite. He still had a very good chance of taking that game. All he needed was some Focus Sash and another Medicham. And he could have made a really great comeback there. He could have made a really great comeback. Anyways, let's take a look at the stats. 110 damage dealt versus 20 from my opponent. Flareon-EX MVP versus Carbink Break. Alright, that was a pretty short match, so I'm going to find myself one more opponent. For real now, the last opponent of the day is Sebastiano with a Colorless, a Lightning, and a Psychic deck. And guess what? That is probably Night March again. So it's going to be our 3rd time facing a Night March with our Flareon deck. So far it's been 1-1. 1 loss, 1 win. Can we take another win, or will we see another loss? Lots will depend on our start here. We won the coin flip. We will go first, as we did in the previous 2 games. If we can set up properly, we stand a decent chance. That was actually a pretty good hand there. Unfortunately, we did not get any basics. If we can get the same hand, but with the N as a basic, that would be fantastic. That would be truly fantastic. Shaymin starts. Oh no, okay, we do get the Flareon, but we don't have a good hand at all. And there's a Super Rod. Oh, Super Rod. So if we find a Sycamore, we'll have to discard our Super Rod. And a Manectric, it's actually not Night March. Alright, it is not Night March. Let's find the Fury Belt, our Flareon, and then let's Shaymin for a couple more cards here. Hopefully find an N. Scorched Earth, that's useful for sure. So let's use our Scorched Earth, discard one Fire Energy, and AZ. Well, I'm going to find the Fury Belt my Shaymin, and then I'm going to AZ up my Shaymin. And we are going to draw into 2 more cards from Shaymin. We need to find a Numel. We are looking for a Numel. That is what we are looking for. A Flareon, that's okay. But it's not really what we needed to see here. We still haven't seen a draw supporter either. And we failed the Max Elixir on top of that. Pretty bad start here, not gonna lie. That's a pretty bummer start. Can we power up our Flareon in the next turn? I don't think so. A Jolteon, that's okay. We have our Entei to deal with the Jolteon. No, our Camerupts. An energy on the Manectric. Or we could just Lysandre the Jolteon. We can always do that. Discards a Garbodor and a Lysandre. Now Garbodor, that is a bummer for us. Garbodor. And a Hoopa. Alright, a Hoopa. Yeah, we'll have to deal with the Jolteon using our Camerupts. But then my opponent could play Rough Seas and heal up 30 damage from our Camerupt, so I'm not sure how that is going to go. Certainly not if my opponent gets out Garbodor, grabs Manectric, Shaymin, and a Mega Manectric. Will not be able to evolve into Mega Manectric this turn, so we won't see that for now. Spirit Link on the Manectric, that Spirit Link is there to stay, and a Shaymin for 3 more cards. Not sure why my opponent grabbed the Mega Manectric already, because he might have to discard it with the Sycamore now or something. An Ultra Ball, discarding 2 Lightning Energies, so now my opponent can Turbo Bolt onto the Jolteon. We needed a much better start than we have right now if we wanted to have a good chance at dealing with my opponent's deck, because right now it's not looking too good. The Jolteon is a very big threat and we need to Lysandre it out before my opponent can power it up. And I'm not sure we can do that here because we are having trouble powering up our own Pokemon. A Lysandre on our Shaymin, are you kidding me? That is the best start for my opponent there. That is definitely the best start. Already discarded a Lysandre but still managed to find another Lysandre. Well, we get an Escape Rope. Never mind, let's Escape Rope. That top deck. A savior top deck right there. What is my opponent going to Escape Rope into? Probably the Jolteon, to be honest, but then we will put a lot of damage on the Jolteon and my opponent doesn't really want to see that happen. But it is the only Pokemon for my opponent with 3 retreats. And yes, there's the Jolteon. We will promote our Flareon. We will use our Scorched Earth. Try to get lucky here. A Sycamore, fantastic. Alright. Well, let's put this energy on our Flareon and then let's Sycamore our hand away, discard our Super Rod. Can we find a Max Elixir? Yes, we do. Max Elixir. This needs to hit here. We also find a Numel. Fantastic. Can we hit the Max Elixir? Yes, we do. We can Flash Fire now and we can put 120 on this Jolteon. We can put 120 on a Jolteon. Let's attach the Fighting Fury Belt as well. And then let's Flash Fire. Make sure we use the right Flash Fire there. And we are going to bench another Shaymin. Even though we know my opponent has 2 Lysandres in a discard pile. 2 energies. I will discard 1 energy and the N. And I'm going to grab myself another Numel here. Yes, we want to get out as many Camerupts as possible. Because my opponent hasn't played down any Trubbish yet. So we won't see the Garbodor anytime soon. Blaze Ball for 120. In the next turn, if we top deck a Lysandre, I will Lysandre this Jolteon. Be done with it. Don't want to deal with it whatsoever. But I think that's not going to happen. We might just have to Sycamore in the next turn. There's the Mega Manectric. We'll see a Turbo Bolt onto the Jolteon. And then we'll have to deal with this Jolteon using our Camerupts. And before my opponent finds Rough Seas as well, 110 damage. Our Flareon is going to go down very soon here. Very, very soon. Actually powers up the Manectric, not the Jolteon. That's interesting. It's going to power up the Manectric. Okay, okay, well. Let's attach an energy to our Flareon on the bench. We have 3 energies in the discard pile. Yes, alright, let's do that. Then let's Sycamore. We are not going to use our stadium. We get a Camerupt. That is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that Camerupt. And we even get a Max Elixir here. So we are going to Max Elixir. And never mind, we won't. Do we move this energy to our Flareon in the active spots? Probably not. Probably not. We'll Burning Draft. We will discard 1 more energy here with our Scorched Earth. And there's another Numel, and we can discard the Flareon. We have 1 more Flareon somewhere. We can discard the Flareon and the N. Yes, let's discard the N. Do we have we discarded our Sky Field? We have not, so let's discard the N instead. And we are going to grab ourselves another Camerupt. We do not have another Camerupt. Are you freaking kidding me? We do not have another Camerupt. We only have 1 Camerupt. Well then. Let's Blaze Ball. Maybe not. Let's Flash Fire first. Let's Flash Fire the energy from the Camerupt onto our Flareon. And then let's hit for a Blaze Ball for 120 damage on this Mega Manectric. We still haven't seen a Lysandre. We want to Lysandre that Mega Manectric if we can. Trainer's Mail. Or we want to Lysandre a Shaymin, because these Mega Manectrics take a whole lot of time for us to deal with. Certainly if they can heal up with the Rough Seas. An N from our opponent, we might get N here, and I don't mind seeing an N. Because that increases our chances of finding our Lysandre, if it is even in our deck. I should have taken a look at my deck and looked for the Lysandre, and yes, we do see the N. Fingers crossed here, fingers crossed. My opponent will for sure retreat into the Manectric. He is looking for another Mega Manectric. No Lysandre for us. We do get a Battle Compressor. If we top deck a VS Seeker, we can VS Seeker for the Lysandre. There's a Trainer's Mail. Has my opponent used any VS Seekers? He has not. And a Rough Seas. Oh, that's a bummer. That Rough Seas does find the Rough Seas. So is going to start healing up here. Can heal up the Jolteon-EX. Luckily, cannot Turbo Bolt onto the Jolteon-EX. And a starting Megaphone discards our Fighting Fury Belts. I'm not sure why, because, well, actually it doesn't matter. My opponents can still knock us out with the Manectric on the bench there. Yes, he's going to knock us out for 60 damage. How lame that is, 60 damage, knocks us out. And energy on the Jolteon does start powering up the Jolteon. We definitely need to find our Lysandre very, very soon. Assault Laser for the KO. Can we knock out this Manectric? Can we knock it out? We need 6 energies on the Flareon. 6 energies, so we need a Battle Compressor, a Blacksmith. And oh, we do get the VS Seeker for the Blacksmith. Or for the Lysandre. Well, let's Battle Compressor first. There is our Lysandre, our Hex Maniac as well. And we'll discard another Battle Compressor. And that is our last VS Seeker, it seems. That is our last VS Seeker, so let's hope we can get a VS Seeker from the prizes. We will attach to our Flareon. Yes. Let's Burning Draft. An energy back from the discard pile. I would love to get a VS Seeker and a Camerupt. We will bench another Flareon, move the energy to our Flareon, and we are going to knock out the Jolteon from our opponents. There is no way my opponents can one-hit KO our Flareon here, our Flareon in the active spots. So that Flareon is safe for now. We will take ourselves 2 prizes, bring ourselves up to speed with our opponent here. It was about time, it was about damn time. What can we get? Please, VS Seeker and Camerupt. Sycamore and a VS Seeker. We do get a VS Seeker. We do get a VS Seeker, which should allow us to KO this Mega Manectric. 30 damage healed up, has got 150 HP left, so all we need now is 5 energies on our Flareon and we want it KO the Mega Manectric, unless we see another Mega Manectric come out, which is quite likely here, which is definitely quite likely. Does my opponent have an Ultra Ball for another Mega Manectric? If he does not, he will definitely Turbo Bolt, I think, with the Manectric in the active spot, because the other Manectric only hits for 60 damage and that is not a whole lot. It's still a 2-hit KO because he can then promote his other Mega Manectric and Turbo Volt. Oh, Lysandre is going to Lysandre our Shaymin, I think. Please, no Lysandre on our Shaymin. Because then the other Mega Manectric can knock out our Shaymin. And yes, there's a Lysandre on our Shaymin, or the other Manectric. So he can actually take the game in the next turn if he has a Lysandre for another V-Seeker. Or a V-Seeker for another Lysandre. Our Shaymins are going to cost us this game, most likely. Most likely. He could find a V-Seeker from prizes there. We need to knock out this Manectric, or we need to Lysandre his own Shaymin. We get a Blacksmith. Well, what do we do? What do we do? It's tempting to AZ up my Shaymin, but then we cannot 1-hit KO this Manectric, I think, unless we find a Fighting Fury Belt. Unless we find a Fighting Fury Belt. So we are hitting for, if we Flash Fire onto our Flareon in the active spot, then we hit for 80, 130 with an energy. That's 150. So 5 energies is 150. We need 6 energies on there. Even a Fighting Fury Belt is not enough. We need 6 energies on there. Well, I might as well. Do I end? Maybe do I end? I could end, and that could prevent my opponent from Lysandring in the next turn, finding that V-Seeker. But then we don't get a KO. And we need to get a KO right here. We need to get a KO. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, let's put an energy on our Flareon-EX, maybe on our Shaymin, so we can Sky return the Shaymin at some point. Well, no, let's put it on our Flareon. We have the V-Seeker for... No, we do not, because I attached to the wrong... no, I did not. I will just move the energy with the Burning Draft. Alright, I will move the energy with the Burning Draft. I will... Blacksmith onto my Flareon, that's 6 times 20, that's a knockout. And then we have the V-Seeker in the next turn to AZ up our Shaymin. We can AZ up our Shaymin in the next turn. If we don't see a V-Seeker from our opponent, we have a very good chance at taking this game. But if we do see a V-Seeker, then it is GG from our opponent. This is going to be a very important turn here for my opponent. Can he find the V-Seeker? Can he find the V-Seeker for the license? We get a V-Seeker and a Camerupt. There is our Camerupt. Fingers crossed here, fingers crossed. This is going to be a super important turn. Heals 30, that's okay. We can still 1-hit KO, that's Mega Manectric. We can Blacksmith onto our Flareon. And we actually don't need to AZ up the Shaymin. We don't need that V-Seeker for the AZ, because whatever happens, we will get the KO in the next turn with our Flareon. At least on one of my opponent's Pokemon, so we will take the game if my opponent doesn't find the V-Seeker. Does he have another Shaymin? Did he Ultra Ball here? Grabs the Trubbish, that is not a Shaymin, so we won't see a Shaymin for drawing into some more cards to find the V-Seeker. There is a Raikou, a Floatstone on the Trubbish, and no Lysandre. That's it, we have the game. We have the game, all we need to do is Lysandre my opponent's Shaymin. That was so super close. That was so super close. Oh, what a tight, close game here. An energy on the Raikou, it won't matter. Let's see. Oh, retreats into the Raikou. Why is that? Oh, so we need to Lysandre. Okay, yeah. So we need to Lysandre, but we can do that. Oh, we can even Escape Rope. Well, let's just Lysandre. There's no point wasting any time here. Let's Lysandre for the KO on the Shaymin from our opponents. Oh, what a relief, oh, what a relief. We do take the game against Mega Manectric, Jolteon and Raikou. I don't think that was expected here, because I think that's a pretty tough matchup for us right there, that Mega Manectric Jolteon deck, because Mega Manectric has so much HP for us to deal with, and Jolteon can just block us. But luckily we were able to deal with the Jolteon before it could get off the Flash Ray. Partly because my opponent decided to power up that other Manectric instead of the Jolteon. 690 damage dealt versus 350 from my opponent. Flareon-EX MVP versus Manectric EX, and that is going to be it from me here today. I am going to leave it here. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like, it helps out the channel, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from Friday episodes. I hope you have a truly Karptastic day, and I will see you on Monday with a Meta Monday episode.
Karp, 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 Karp.